Hey, what's up, guys? Time for another tip, and this is a little bit unusual for me. Usually when in the past when I've done saves, I haven't had any numbers on at all, and so I haven't been able to see like what ratings players have for different levels and stuff like that. But let's mess around a little bit with this when it comes to searching for players. So we hop on here into Football Manager. You can see we're looking at this scouting screen. This is all of the players in range. If you're wondering how to get there, I'll show you. So go back to the inbox, go to scouting. You're at the scouting screen, right? You want to go to players and then players in range. What you can do here is you can do a search. I'm looking just for young players, and I want to see fast young players, right? Now, we have acceleration set to at least 15, pace at least 20, but of course, it's not going to give us actually at least 20, right? What it is getting us here is we're getting a range, right? So we're getting a range from 15 to 20 pace because of the like fog of war that's in this game. If we want to know where these players actually are, we have to actually scout them. And you'll see that acceleration is a range between 7 to 17 or 6 to 16 or whatever. Now the color, what does the color signify? The color will signify like what the lowest part of the range is. So anything that I think it's like 14 to 20 or so, or 13 to 20 is going to be colored green. And when you're getting to stuff that has like a max range, like a 15 or 16, that's where you start changing colors. Basically, like you want as much as possible to have guys that have both colors that are green, but it still sort of depends, right? It's not like we want to completely ignore all of these players, right? Because maybe there's a chance that the acceleration will be a little bit higher, right? So we can still like scout them and say, well, we'll go take a look, sort of see what's happening. But what I'd recommend doing is moving this part up a little bit, like to 18. And then we'll see if anybody shows up or not, right? Oh, look, we do have players who are like this, right? And so you have some players like these two who are more likely to have really good acceleration or good enough as well as very good pace. And you have some of these who might have acceleration that's a little bit less. I don't know off the top of my head necessarily like what the chances are that this guy is going to be closer to the 9 than the 19. You just really don't know. There's no way of predicting this. What you've got to do is you've got to do a scouting report on every single one of these players and just go and take a look for them. And now the other thing that you're going to realize is that there's going to be a whole bunch of players that you don't know anything about at all, no matter how good your scouting is. And your range of knowledge and all that stuff. And so you might want to like dig in and sort of look for individual players and see. One trick you can always use is, let's say, let's do this again. Let's say we're looking for, I don't know, American players who are good enough to be playing on the United States under 19 squad. You can just go look at the squad, right? Now, you can see here we have good enough scouting coverage that these guys are all going to show up on the searches, right? Because they're all showing up here. But sometimes you might run into guys who you don't know about otherwise, and you can go pick them off and be like, oh, yeah, we want to go look at this. So we want to fully scout this guy. This guy looks like he might be okay. We want to fully scout him. And then I can see right away, well, yeah, these guys are players I'm not going to have anything to do with because they're going to be too slow, like no matter what, you know. And so that's kind of the way that you can use the search tool to make sure that your players are scouting players who are like as good as possible. Now, no matter how good you think you are with it, you're still going to get a bunch of guys who get like C's, D's, F's, E's, and so on for recommendations. Another thing you can do if you really want to is you can take the time to like look at these guys before they're ready. We looked at this guy just yesterday, right? We can go take a look here at Teseski and we'll say that, oh, look, he's injury prone. And so I'll do the thing I usually do. I'll say, okay, he has a problem with injuries. We create a note so that we don't end up accidentally looking at him again. And then we can cancel the assignment, right? And what that will allow us to do is it allows us to make sure that our scouts are free so they can go look at other players. Remember, in the game, they're not actually looking at them, right? What's happening is information about the player is slowly being revealed until scouting is finished after a time that is, determined by the game, and it is somewhat random. Right, so that's what's really going on, but this way it kind of improves your ability to get to the players who you really want to get to and get rid of the guys that you don't. So there's a couple of real quick tips on how to scout effectively, and hope you enjoy this. Talk to you later. Bye.